Yeah, the last two were their flat, comma, which they bought last year, comma, is up for sale. Or we could say their flat, which is up for sale, was bought by them last year. That's passive, though that was a bit confusing, wasn't it? The flat which I bought recently isn't far from theirs. Notice that this one has commas and this one doesn't, and there is a reason for that in a moment. But the part two of this, in sentence 4, we've got apparently, comma, what she wants to do is move to Australia. Okay, she wants to move to Australia. This is not a relative clause, and so we can't leave out what. I don't know why they've put this in here. It just confuses things. Forget what. Okay, we want, if it's a thing, we want which or that. If it's a person, we want who, and sometimes that. And the other one's a place, where, a time, when, and if it belongs to somebody, whose. Okay, now I'm just going to go through that then in a little bit more detail, or rather I'm going to show you the answers and then go through it in detail. Okay, so yeah, that can replace the relative pronoun in sentences 1 and 8 because it can replace who or which in defining relative clauses. So you need to find out what a defining relative clause is. That's coming up in the next video, or in the next part of the video. So we could say with number 1 and number 8, let's look at those ones and put that in. And here they come. The woman that you met at the party was my sister. Notice how when we pronounce it, we just say that. Yeah, the woman that you met at the party was my sister is the same as the woman who you met at the party was my sister. And number 8, the flat that I bought recently isn't far from theirs. The flat that I bought recently, yeah, or the flat which I bought recently, or even just the flat I bought recently. Yeah, these relative clauses get a little bit confusing, but the good news is you just have to understand when we can leave out that, okay? Because English speakers will do this nearly every time, okay? I would say the woman you met at the party, the flat I bought recently, and that gets quite confusing when you're listening to people. You don't need to use it yourself. You can use that, the woman that I met, that you met, and the flat that I bought, okay? And we're going to find out why this is so confusing and what the rules are a little bit later on, okay? In part 3, the bored woman standing next to him is his wife, okay? And most houses built in the 16th century are listed buildings. We've got standing, built, and listed. Okay. Oh, and bored. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I nearly missed that one. Now, bored, built, and listed are past participles, the third form of the verb, the ed ending. But the ing form is what's called the present participle, okay? And it says rewrite them using relative pronouns. Now, if the book thinks you know this already, don't worry. I don't think you know this already. So let's have a look at the answers. Yeah, these are the underlined ones are participles, okay? The way that we're going to look at those ones today are a little bit more to do with describing people's feelings or their perceptions. Your feeling is on the inside. Your perception is what you see from the outside. Okay. I was very bored in the lesson. That's your feeling on the inside, ed, because the lesson was very boring. That's your perception of it. That's how you see it from the outside. So boring is an external thing and bored is an internal thing, is a feeling. Okay. If you stick to that one, you should be okay. Not too many people are making mistakes with that this year, which is very good. So I'm just going to pause it there for a moment. And what I would like you to do now is read this article about this man from Ghana who entered the Winter Olympics on the skeleton, which is this very scary thing. You go down head first. And in the next video, I'm going to put up the answers to these. What you need to do is you need to put these sentences, A to J, in these gaps, okay? And you can also listen to it and check it for yourself. So I'm going to start the next video with the answers to these ones. And I think these 3 pages will be enough for the whole week, okay, for week 9.